James Mason is the star of The Masters, tonight's continental film, a mafioso thriller. That's in half an hour. But first, more football comment from George Best and Rodney Marsh. The perfect match.
Hello again. Welcome to Best, Marsh and their memories. We're looking at 70s football and we're looking at the particular golden age of English soccer in Europe. And was it a golden age, do you think?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I would think that any teams in Europe from all the other countries dreaded having to play a British team because they really were, you know, red hot at that stage.
You'd started it in the 60s. And your best memory of Europe?
Winning the European Cup was the biggest thing that happened to the club.
On the showing so far, United were proving the better side. Hard-working Best put the ball out to the left, where Sadler had been playing like a demon. The return centre was a beauty. Charlton headed it home. The match was by no means won. Benfica pulled off a beauty through Grasser. Stepney collected and fed his forwards. Waiting to receive was mighty Best. He simply walked the ball into the net. What a goal! United in the lead. And that wasn't all. The Busby Babes were raring to go. They hammered Benfica. Watch this fantastic goal. My, oh my, how they cheered Kid, the birthday boy, for that super header. Even Stepney joined in. The Benfica fire had nearly been extinguished. But where United finished, not on your life. Bobby Charlton made it 4-1. At last, Matt Busby, the maestro of Manchester United, had groomed a team great enough to beat Europe's best. He was king of soccer. His wonderful 11 men were all princes.
I think our best performance in Europe was actually in '66 when we went to Benfica. And they had a good side at that time. It was even better, I think, than when we beat them in the European Cup final. And we had beaten them 3-2, I think, at home. And it was a very tight game. We had to go there, and they were almost unbeatable at home. And we went there and absolutely demolished them, beat them 5-1. And, I mean, it was as near to perfection as you could get. And actually, it was funny because Sir Matt never, ever told us to play defensively, ever. I mean, he'd just give you the ball and said, go out and enjoy yourself. And on this occasion, he said, go out and not just keep it tight for the first 15, 20 minutes, see how it goes. Of course, I disobeyed his orders again and scored twice in the first 10 minutes. But it was funny because he still panicked.
He didn't mean you, though, George. He just meant everybody else.
Yes, he used to talk to me separately, I think, yeah. But that was as near, I mean, I remember coming in.
You got to half-time, didn't you? How many were you up at half-time?
Oh, we were 3 ahead, I think, at half. So we were 6-2 up in aggregate. So we came in, we would start opening the champagne as a bit of fun.
At half-time?
At half-time. And he said, oh, no, take it easy. Because the year before, we had thrown away a 4-1 lead against Sporting Lisbon, I think, and they beat us 5. So I think he was having a sort of slight...
6-2 up, and you saw Matt Busby nervous.
Yes, yeah. Very.
Well, I mean, we think about the Liverpools and the United. City did well in Europe.
In actual fact, before I joined City, they'd won, I think it was 7 trophies in 7 years under Malcolm Allison and Joe Mercer. And did everything they could do, and they were brilliant years for Manchester City, certainly. But whenever you go, we were talking about again before the show, whenever you go abroad and you play in Europe, they always find ways, and when we come back over here, it's the same thing, of making you feel uncomfortable, you know, changing the size of the pitch, watering it before the game.
Have you worked for teams that have played similar tricks?
Unfortunately, yes, I have, yeah.
Like what? I mean, did Allison used to do
that? Malcolm did it, so yeah. what we do at City very often is we would water the pitch only like 2 hours before the game, and we knew what was going to happen, and we had the right studs and.
So they'd have trained on a hard pitch.
No, they would have seen the pitch before in the morning, and it would have been bone hard, and by the time they arrived at the ground, it would have been soaking wet.
Obviously, the tricks of the trade, there was some good football as well. Let's look at Tottenham Hotspur against Dynamo Tbilisi. Those teams that you saw there, I mean, the number 2 spelt wrongly, I believe, isn't it, George?
Yes, but I think there should have been an E on the end of this.
In fact, my producer tells me, because he did Russian, that that was the family name of Stalin, the number 2, but we won't hold that against them.
That's good to know, that.
It's another one of those great facts. The Tottenham side, of course, an excellent Tottenham side that had 2 good years in Europe already. This is at White Hart Lane. It's December 1973, third round, second leg. Brian Moore will give us details of the aggregate.
Welcome to White Hart Lane, a cold night with a fierce wind blowing, but what promises to be an excellent night of European football. The Russian side on the left there in the red shirts, Dynamo Tbilisi, are said by Spurs players to be just about the best side they've faced in Europe for years. Even so, Spurs came away from the first leg in Russia a fortnight ago with a 1-1 draw, and that puts them in a good position tonight, though this tie, believe me, is far from over yet. Peters now, putting it straight to Asatiani, as the Russians now pick it up again. Machaizde. Still Machaizde, and there was a deflection, and that very nearly went in off the number 11, Kipiani. Peters' header. McGrath. Peters. Played wide again towards Coates and Evans. Coates getting it across nicely, and McGrath has scored! Chris McGrath, the young Belfast boy, has put Spurs ahead. Gutsayev. Machaidze. And Kurtsilava again in a very dangerous position, and England was so aware of that Russian captain's shooting power. He came streaking out of the box to take the ball from him. But it's not away yet. Kipiani and Kurtsilava again right in there. Machaidze. And there's Chivers right back there doing a defensive job, but the Russians still a long way from being beaten. Now can the number 6 cross it? He can again there. Kutsayev tried to get up. Machaidze, and there's a tremendous shot, and it's not away yet, by Kurtsilava against the post, and a corner for the Russians. Evans. Chivers coming away from the defence, not getting on with any great degree of accuracy. Spurs, of course, in this second half will have quite a strong wind at their backs. Gutsayev. Machaidze to Georgiashvili. The long raking pass there, Nodia. In fact, didn't make a touch on it, and Naylor has given them a great chance there. And that very nearly was a terrible mistake there by Terry Naylor. Ebrolidze almost got there before Jennings. And that surely now will wake Spurs up. Leading 1-0, but certainly in no position to play funny games like that. Pratt. A good, powerful shot there by John Pratt, but wide. Evans again. England had gone up for that free kick and had stayed up. Coates. Still Coates. Good play there by Ralph Coates. Oh, and a great header there by Mike England. And that puts Spurs 2-0 ahead. Georgiashvili's gone with him, and Naylor harassed him enough to force him to pass it straight to Chivers, and now Asatiani for the Russians. Ebrelitsi to Machaidze. Gutsayev. And a corner to Tbilisi. Gutsayev. Oh, and it's a goal there, scored by the number 6, Ebralidze. And Ebralidze has put the Russians back into the game. So the number 5, Hinchagashvili, right in there. Martin Peters in there. Martin Chivers at the near post. Here comes the corner again. Curling on the wing once more. Mike England is in there. And headed in by Martin Peters. Mike England got the head of the cannon in the first place. And Martin Peters tucked it behind the goalkeeper. Oh, Beale misjudged that one, but won it back again. Chivers, very deep indeed. And now that long stride of his taking it into the Russian half. Peters, turn on again for Chivers, but Georgiashvili is there. Could tuck it back, and he almost made a mess of it. It's with John Pratt for Tottenham. And here's Peters in a good position. Chivers and McGrath are in the middle. There's Chivers going for it again! Oh, what a fine goal by Chivers! Peters pushed in the back there by number 3, Chelidze. And Spurs moving with confidence now. Pratt crossing it in once more, and Martin Peters behind the ball! And Martin Peters has added another one! McGrath to Perryman. McGrath again. McGrath to Perryman once more. What a good piece of play again by Tottenham. And McGrath is through. Russians coming back quickly. Peters hitting it first time, but straight at the goalkeeper. Azatiani losing it. And now Pratt. Chivers is up there again, and Spurs have got a lot of players forward. Here's John Pratt once more. And he's got... no! Well, my eyes deceived me for a moment there. Forward again for Chivers. Oh, and a beautiful save there by the goalkeeper, Godia. As the final whistle goes, when Chivers nearly made it 3.
5 goals by Spurs, 5 headers. It's amazing how good we are at in the air.
Even
The Russians had obviously worked on that, on their defensive qualities in the air.
Yeah.
But not good, tremendous performance. But that was the nice thing about, you know, you played like 42 league games and the internationals and cup games, but the European games were something special. It was like the icing on the cake. You know, it really was a special occasion. The atmosphere, the excitement. It was always a special night in Europe. I mean, obviously, there's some horrendous trips you go on. I mean, I remember going once to Albania. I mean, it was like stepping back 300 years in time. You know, you couldn't eat the food. You had to take your own food. You couldn't eat the food. They had no transport. I mean, the weather was miserable. The people, you never saw a smile. I mean, you were sleeping. You might as well have slept on the floor. I mean, it was horrendous. But on the other hand, you go to places like France and Italy, and it was, you know, it was tremendous. But it was always interesting. There was always something different.
what about you? I mean, you beat Panathinaikos. And
Yeah.
Go on, tell us that one.
Yeah. Oh, that's just the trip we had. Manchester City played in Panathinaikos, and Puskás was the coach of Panathinaikos, and we beat them 3-0 in Greece, and afterwards we had a banquet, and all the City lads were down one side drinking champagne and pints of lager, and all of the other team are down the other side drinking Coca-Cola and seltzer water, and both teams get up and do their speeches, and the City directors are there, and all the directors from Panathinaikos. And Malcolm gets up and, you know, is very gracious, as he always was, in victory. And then Puskás gets up and he says, tonight I'm very ashamed. He said, my team, he said, they cannot play. He said, but worse, they can't even drink. And, you know, fond memories of playing in Europe, certainly.
Those are the days. Well, I mean, that old City side of yours under Allison, it was...
Great drinkers.
Well, the stories I've heard, I mean, they were a touring party, weren't they?
No, I think that, in all honesty, I think the thing about it is when you get a group of people together that enjoy each other's company, enjoy each other's play, I think it's really special. And I know George probably had the same situation with United, yeah. But it's really great to go away with great players in a great team and win lots of games, and it's like camaraderie, and I feel very, I appreciate my opportunity to be able to do that.
Does it refer back then to the group morale, the morale of the team players? I mean, come on, we're going to look at a Liverpool game now, but can you look back at Liverpool's dominance as being a reflection of that shared experience of constantly being out there on Wednesday nights in Europe?
Yeah, I would say that that's definitely a factor in their success. You know, we talked in earlier shows about Liverpool team, and it's always the same names that keep coming up. You know, you look at the
Here they are
lineup.
again. Here they are again.
Exactly, and they're probably great friends off the field as well as on the field, and they, you know, I'm sure that they've got their little cliques, their golfing cliques and their social cliques and stuff like that, and that's very much a big part of their success, I would think.
All right, well, there's that Liverpool team. This is a Keegan game, Toshak Callahan, all those boys we've talked about. Let's go and look at it.
Saint-Étienne are always a formidable side in European competition. Currently, they're lying 6th in their own league, and they've only won one away game all season. But in Europe, in their last 9 European games, they've conceded only 1 goal. Now Highway to take it up for Liverpool. Bartonai with him, conceding the corner. An atmosphere here tonight matching the wall of noise which surrounded the players at Saint-Étienne a fortnight ago. Keegan. Djokovic has missed it! Santini's throw, back from Ravelli. Senegal in the middle, 2 men at the back of the penalty area. This is Ravelli. Nice 1-2 for Santini. Good tackle, but Ravelli gets the shot, and the clearance is miskicked by Neil, and there's an awful scramble going on, and Neil has tidied up his own mistake. Christian Lopez with the ball. Hughes meeting the header. Hughes again, falling for Santini. Kennedy now taken by Bartonai. Lake, chased by Rocheteau, and Rocheteau is offside. Lake's cross, found his man well. A good diving save by Clements from Senegal to turn it round. Right away, Rocheteau, brilliant save! Case's clearance went to Rocheteau, who hammered it with his right foot. Clements saved brilliantly. Case, Keegan. Callaghan turns it for Kennedy. Callaghan into space, and 3 men in the middle. Highway going to make a 4th. Callaghan crosses, Keegan is in, and it was just deflected, but it's come the Highway, and Janvion blocked his shot. Here's Bartonai. Lake. Senegal to Chadier. Callaghan. Keegan. Rocheteau. Lake. And Lake tries a shot, but Clements did well to cover. Hughes sent Rocheteau one way and goes the other. Now finds Jones. Off his toe, and very quick to recover his own mistake. Oh, that's a foul, surely. Referee put his whistle to his lips, let play go on. Kennedy to Hughes. French coming up, pressuring the last man with the ball. And Smith knows the answer to that, comes dribbling through to try to beat the offside, and back go the French defenders. Callaghan towards Toshak's head. Crowd really warming to the sway and the cut and thrust of this European Cup quarter-final. Bartonai didn't make the tackle, and Keegan centres. Case. Janvion. Case's shot, but it won't be a to go. There's a foul on Jean-Vion. Smith. Clements calling for it. Hughes, Jones, and Hughes again. Defenders again moving out, but the offside trap didn't work that time. Djokovic went for a header, and again, and now Case puts one back towards the empty goal and puts it wide. Hughes. Well to full Rocheteau. Senegal's header. Carries all through the challenge from Neil. This could be dangerous. 4 men forward supporting him. This is Rocheteau, and he's got a chance for his right foot. Brilliant save by Clements. That's Rocheteau. And now at the other end, a free kick to Liverpool. Keegan walks away from it. Case is there too, and it's going to be Case. No, it's going to be Keegan. And now Kennedy. Good save by Djokovic. Kennedy found the mark well. Now Highway. Jean-Vion to Senegal. Bartonai. Bartonai shot swerved and goes in. Bartonai, the hero in St Etienne a fortnight ago, gets another goal here, and the French celebrate. Well, St Etienne have been the dominant side of French football for the last decade. 9 times they've been champions of France, 5 times cup winners, and they've done the double 4 times in the last 9 seasons. Here's the corner to Rocheteau's head. Gone wide. Case. And there's a bad back pass. Merchadier's heart must have been in his mouth. Smith to Neil. A curious one from Lopez. Put the ball out for a Liverpool throw. Callaghan, Neil, and Toshek going after it. Kennedy, 2-2. Turned back by Smith. Forward come Liverpool again. Quarter of an hour of the second half gone, and we must be in here for one of the great nights of European football in this last half hour. Djokovic up with Toshak. Case. Atmosphere boiling here at Anfield. Case lobbing it forward. Header back by Lopez. And Fairclough is onside. This now could be interesting. Fairclough! Super sub! Strikes again! Highway on the touchline. Just Fairclough in the box. Now it's Liverpool's turn to play possession. Slow the pace. Keegan has come through. Cross towards Fairclough. Good header away. 3-1 Liverpool lead. 3-2 on aggregate. We played more than a minute over the 45 in this second half. A place in the European Cup semi-final awaiting the winners. Referee now has his whistle in his mouth. He's looked to his linesman.
Liverpool went on to win the Cup. Spurs losing to Feyenoord, the one that we saw them go through to in their final. But well, Liverpool, St Etienne looked great as well.
They weren't a bad side, the French side. Rocheteau, of course, you know, world-class player. But even sitting here watching that, you could feel the atmosphere. It's different. I mean, the European nights were special.
There's the other thing, the downside of international competition, international club competition. When you get to the World Club Championship,
yeah.
You played one of those against Estudiantes.
Estudiantes, yeah.
What was that like?
Well, we could have done without the ball, really, the 2 games. I mean, they were disgraceful.
The difference between Britain and the rest of the world is quite staggering. I think that with British players, you pretty much know who they are. I mean, they're ugly type players, and they go out and kick you up in the air. But you look at them before the game, and they look like they're going to kick you up in the air. I think when you go to South America, it can be anybody. It can be like a 120-pound little weakling, and he'll bite your ear, and he'll do this, and he'll pull your face, and, you know, and elbow you and all that, you know. And it can be anybody. But I think in Britain,
Even Pelé?
even Pelé, yeah, he did that to me in a game in Florida, in Tampa, Florida. Put his after an incident, he rubbed my head and then put his finger in my ear and pulled my ear out.
Yeah. He's amazing, actually. Pelé, I tell you, he could take care of himself. You know, they all try to kick him. I mean, a great player. But I tell you, when he had to, he could take care of him. I think you find that with most great players. They can look after themselves, usually. And it's like Rod says, you know the British lads are going to kick you.
All right, George and Rodney, thank you for looking after us tonight and spending half an hour with football across the international boundaries there. Thank you. Until next time, from us all, goodbye.
Now, nighttime, Best and Marsh recall FA Cup classics.
Hello again, welcome to Rodney, Marsh, George Best and their memories of wonderful football back in the 70s, and our topic is FA Cup. Did you enjoy the FA Cup? Is it the great competition they all talk about?
Well, it is, obviously, I mean, because there's always a chance of, you know, year after year, major upsets. You know, the big boys getting knocked out by the little clubs, and that's the part of the thrill and excitement of the FA Cup, you know, because it happens year after year.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's the only time when anybody in the country can play anybody else. You know, once the amateur teams go through into the 3rd round, you can have somebody like Wigan drawing against Manchester United, and you know, who knows what's going to happen on any given day. And that's why it's such a romantic and such a, you know, a fun thing to be involved in.
And the fact that it's just a single game, it's not like the two-legged business, it's a single game, isn't it? Does that make a difference, George?
Well, you mean, Rodney and I, we talk about this a lot, getting results in games. I know Rodney believes that even, you know, league games, there should be a result, because that's the way it is in America. Plus the fact that Wembley itself, to get there, is a special occasion.
If you're a big club like Manchester United, Manchester City, Everton, Liverpool, I really do feel that you don't really want to get drawn against York at York. You don't really want that. You know, you much prefer a home tie against anybody, but the last thing you want is to be drawn against you know, one of those teams like Wigan or you know, or Scunthorpe away from home. You don't really want that for 2 reasons. The first reason is you got nothing to win. If you go away and you win anyway, everybody says, well, they should have won, they're a big team. But the team you're playing against, they rise to the occasion, they prepare differently, they say, oh, this week we're playing against George Best, let's go and kick him, and things like that. And so often, those 3rd and 4th division teams, they elevate themselves and probably play to a standard they couldn't reach before.
Yeah.
Away from the minnows and the sharks, big teams, when they play each other, I guess the cup adds something special, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're talking about the 2 teams we're going to watch. You can't get much bigger. I mean, it's an occasion when they play each other anyway, but in the Cup it's an even bigger occasion, particularly in the semi-final.
Liverpool versus Manchester United, and indeed this is a semi-final. Looking at those 2 teams, comments, gentlemen?
Well, both teams, I mean, jam-packed full of internationals. I mean, so you would expect a classic. It doesn't always work that way, but with the sort of players on show there, you know, the Dalglish and, you know, Souness and Martin Buck and Steve Coppell. I mean, the whole team, you know, it looks like a classic, doesn't it?
Let's go over then to Main Road, and we're talking about the date March 79, FA Cup semi-final, Liverpool against Manchester United.
Neil. Buchan stretching before Dalglish. Thompson. Defence had come out for offside, but didn't make it. Case. Dalglish, he's wriggled round McElroy, he's lost Buchan, he's got a chance, what a goal! Manchester United must have laid their plans for Dalglish. But how do you legislate for skills such as he showed us there? McQueen. Jimmy Greenough. Jordan will jump, and he's got it! Jordan winning the header again. Koppel gets it across. Greenough! Marvellous turn there by Jimmy Greenough. Jordan's arm went across Hansen there, no foul given. Looked as though there was one by Greenough on Thompson, or even vice versa, but the referee, I think, maybe decided it was 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, and lets them go on with Alveston against Johnson. And Case Harrison. McQueen. Clearance goes straight to Neal. Kennedy is going into the box. McDermott plays it in, and it's cleared by Alveston. Came for the return, under pressure gave it away. Case in early towards Dalglish, and the referee has given the penalty. McQueen has protested his way into the referee's notebook. Buchan equally unconvinced, but a penalty it is. Terry McDermott will take it. And he's hit the post and lost it. Liverpool still in possession. Johnson. Souness. Tremendous clearance there, and I'm not sure whether it was Buchan or whether it was Bailey. Greenough, Thomas, tipped across well, Hansen, it's come out to Jimmy Greenough. Jordan, straight at Clements. First time from Jordan. Jimmy Greenough, 3 men lined across the edge of the penalty area, that's Brian Greenough. Kennedy's header out, Jimmy Greenough back in, Koppel poaching. Clears. Dalglish, Case, Johnson, foul by Buchan on Johnson. But it just shows how much these cup semi-finals are one-off games that really seem always to have little relationship to what has gone on before them. Liverpool now having conceded 2 goals in an hour and a quarter, which is as many as they have conceded in the whole of their 15 previous matches. Thompson. Johnson got ahead to it, Bailey waited, and his decision was vindicated. Jimmy Greenough shielding it, and he was fouled, and the free kick is Manchester United's, right on the edge of the area. Neal, Kennedy, Souness in the wall, Dalglish going to join them, Clements pushing them. Thomas, deflection and a great save. That was England class from Clements. But Manchester United growing in favouritism as the minutes pass. Bailey shoveling it out. Lost his balance. Thomas hasn't got it quite clear. McDermott plants it back in. McQueen clears, but only as far as Hughes. And in goes Dalglish. Jordan, Jimmy Greenough was onside. Clements has come all the way and met it first. He was 15 yards outside the area when he met that Ray Clements. Highway. Oh, he's done well here. Ray Kennedy. Bailey got down. Dalglish overhead towards Johnson. Souness off the line. Neal. McDermott on for Thompson. He's got it across. There's the equaliser from Hansen. Hughes striding forward. On for Dalglish. Highway, a deflection. That's awkward for Bailey. And he held it well. Thomas. Jimmy Greenough with Coppell in the middle. Jordan coming now. And here's Brian Greenough. Here's Thomas. Clever little chip up, but Hughes heads away. Now it's Neal. Minute and a half left. 3 in the break for Liverpool. Highway. Dalglish in the middle. Johnson there. McDermott going. Highway shot. Great save again by Bailey. And on the watch, 60 seconds from a replay. Buchan's header out. McDermott across again. McQueen clears. Hughes. Dalglish. Dalglish curling it. Just over the top. Dave Sexton, calm face, but what goes on underneath? And we're now in the time that the referee is adding on in this momentous cup semi-final. Bailey under pressure again. Oh, one-handed. What a hero Gary Bailey has been in this last 10 minutes. There's not really been a pin between them. They've given us a really marvellous game.
A marvellous game, that one ending 2-all.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Imagine winning the replay 1-0 and then losing to Arsenal in the final, which we won't talk about.
No, we don't.
That was magnificent stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Magnificent stuff.
Liverpool had a lot of difficulty winning the FA Cup, the one trophy they couldn't win for a long time. Say anything about Liverpool?
Yeah, I feel sorry for them.
All right, leave Liverpool out. I mean, yourself. I mean, you never played in an FA Cup final, did you?
No, actually, the year in '63 when United won it, when they beat Leicester, I signed professional a couple of weeks after the game. I was actually at it. And the following season, I'd got in the first team. And I'd got to the semi-final of the Cup. And at the time, I would have been the youngest player to appear in the final if we'd have made it. And the 4 teams left in the competition were West Ham United, when they had a very good side, Manchester United, Preston and Swansea. So I think everyone except the Preston and Swansea fans wanted, obviously, United and West Ham to be kept apart. As it happened, we were drawn together. And West Ham beat us, went on to win the Cup. And Preston also got to the final, and Howard Kendall became the youngest player to play in the final. Right. And funny enough, Howard was born exactly the same day as me. So if we'd have both got to the final, it would have been a little bit of a... So, but I never managed the final. It's the one regret, I suppose, I've had. It would have been nice. Yeah.
Never took race.
Because it is a bit special.
I always thought cup games were, you know, if you ask any player, the league is a long grind. 42 games is a long season. And I always thought the cup was a nice diversion from that. And we had when I was at Queen's Park Rangers, we had a tremendous win in the League Cup final at Wembley when we beat West Brom 3-2 after being 2-0 down at half-time, and they were a first division team, and Queen's Park Rangers were in the 3rd division, and that was a brilliant, brilliant game for me. Someone
asked me to ask you, why didn't you accept a loser's medal for Manchester City? There was some final there. Did you?
Yeah, we got to the League Cup final at Wembley in 73 or 74, and we lost to Wolves 2-1, and we were so superior on the day, it was a joke. I mean, Manchester City should have won the game at least 5 or 6 goals. And I gave away the winning goal with about 2 minutes to play.
How did you do that, Rodney?
I back-heeled the ball in my own box straight to John Richards. and he had no trouble in beating Joe from about 3 yards out. No, I put my heel in the way of a cross, and it skidded off my heel across the open goal and right in front of the goal. And
you weren't trying to be flash?
No, but after the game I was so upset at losing that I refused to take my medal, yeah. And I got fined by the FA and all that stuff. And the only person ever to refuse a medal at Wembley, and, you know...
Always been a troublemaker, haven't you?
Yeah. Got a suitable rebuke from the Football Association and the league, but...
It's a tough world to be a rebel, isn't it, really? For both of you. Right, let's look at another cup game. It's Boothbury Park, and we're talking March 71. It's Hull against Stoke City, FA Cup, 6th round.
Neil with the kick. Simpkin, Houghton. Butler, Wagstaff going for Wagstaff! Magnificent goal! We thought he'd take his time over it, but he put that one past Banks. 14 minutes gone, and a delirious Ken Wagstaff puts Hull City into the lead, and even Gordon Banks can't stop those. Burrows with the throw to Conroy, Wilkinson ever with, and the flag up for a throw to Hull City. Banks. Take up a proposition, says Mr. Homewood. Houghton coming for it. Banks. Wagstaff waiting for that. Blow behind Wagstaff. Chilton for Wagstaff. Waggy's going for again. It's going to be number 2. It's there. A superb goal by Wagstaff. Beautifully conceived and lethally finished. Skeels getting there, Neil. Butler waiting for this to bounce and going hard into Marsh. Wagstaff! Wagstaff on a hat-trick. There's a shot, and it's wide. Butler teeing that one up for Wagstaff, who took his time, placed his shot, but placed it wide. Neil and Ritchie in contention there. Burrows a good one for Conroy. A chance for Conroy as McKechnie comes out. I think Conroy's going to do it. He scored. Conroy's been quick to do that. Terry Conroy. A long through ball. Conroy onto it. Chilton, Simpkin, Wagstaff and Bloor again. Chilton seizing on it. 3 men round him. And Bloor comes away with it. Long ball. Conroy is onside. He's very fast. Oh, and a lucky escape there. McKechnie had a wild slice by, and Conroy or Ritchie, and they want a mix-up, but they're still there, and Hull were lucky to get away with that. McKechnie didn't really know that ball had hit him. Skeels, Burrows. Good cross, Ritchie's there. Headed away by Wilkinson. Houghton going for it, missing it. Pescic. Referee will not allow this. Simpkin again. Butler for Simpkin. Corner. Simpkin winning a corner from Marsh. Lord, what a good one. Palmed away. It's not out. Chilton clipping it back. Lord again, missing it. Lord and Simpkin. A corner off Lord. But no, it looks as though Mr. Homewood has seen a defence in the penalty area, so it all goes for nothing. And away comes Stoke. Conroy and Ritchie bursting up the middle. Neil. Good dummy by Banks. Chilton, Banks going up outside him. Wagstaff. Waiting for Banks, no, turning inside. Wagstaff. Handball from Houghton. Ken Houghton putting that ball in the net with his hands. Well, this cup tie is certainly a thriller.
Marsh with the free kick. Stoke 2-1 down, but the better side this half. Stoke have 7 men running into the penalty area. McKechnie comes out, punches, and a chance for Burrows. It's there! Ritchie, the finishing touch from Ritchie, the first shot from Burrows, and that equaliser has been on the cards since the second half started. Conroy finding room, and Ritchie must score, no doubt about it. Ritchie was absolutely unmarked. He could have scored any time of day. But McKechnie and Houghton arguing with each other, and the Stoke players turning cartwheels with delight, and the spectators. But as Conroy chipped that over, Ritchie just stood there and picked his spot. Nobody was near him.
But you can see from the reaction of the Stoke players how important the cup really is. I mean, even if it's not a classic game, it means so much. Just to,
41,500 people there. And to be fair on Stoke, they got to the semi-final the year after. They won the League Cup around that time. Yeah.
They had a period for a while, when they were a good team and won a lot of games, and you know, they could have been done a lot more. And but as I say, the cup is a one-off tournament, and you know, anybody can beat anybody, anywhere, anytime.
As we come to the close of this, we've been looking at football in the 70s and games and classic stuff, and loving the goals and the mistakes, and I think you loved it when that guy headed the ball out of the goalie's hand. Pedrick did that. Would you have liked to do that yourself? It's the kind of thing you'd have loved to do.
I did something similar against Gordon Banks once in an international, and I still believe it was a goal. Because I used to actually study goalkeepers, how they kicked the ball. Some drop kicked it, some threw it up and kicked it. And Banksy used to throw it up, and while it was in the air, I figured it was in play. And I knocked it in once and scored once. The referee disallowed it, and a couple of weeks later I did the same thing against Pat Jennings. I tackled him as he cleared the ball, because he drop kicked it, and knocked it in the net, and they allowed it. So just
it just shows you, in the very old days, back in the 50s, the goalkeepers never got that kind of protection, did they? I mean,
No, in actual fact,
you're
right, and there's a very famous incident of Nat Lofthouse when he knocked Harry Gregg in the back of the net at a cup final, and those type of things would never be allowed today.
Actually, if that happened today, but what he did there, I mean, it's a bit of fun, I suppose. He'd probably get his name taken today.
No, he definitely would. But
if he was playing in Scotland, he'd be fined and taken to prison, I should think, yes. Yeah. Let's not be too rude about that. As we close this, I mean, are we looking at, you know, the modern game in the 80s, late 80s in Britain? Isn't that wonderful? I know you watch the Bundesliga over there in America. You, George, you travel around the world and you watch American football more than you watch English football, but...
Oh, no, I think to compare... This programme is about cup games, and to compare cup games of the 80s to the 70s, I think there's probably as many equally exciting games now than there was in the 70s. It's just that the reason we're here is to talk about nostalgia, and I don't think that even though the games will be exciting in the 80s, I don't think the personalities are in the games, albeit they still are exciting.
I think one of the reasons is that two of the great personalities are sitting in here at the moment. Thank you very much for spending this programme with us. It's been a pleasure for me. Memories, and Marsh and Bess, thank you both very, very much. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Cup ties, these two. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.
It's Marsh at the far post. Booth, now to Marsh. He doesn't miss those. Commentary claiming he was offside. Not quite firmly enough. Marsh couldn't pull it down the end to get a second chance. Marsh! Ill to set things in motion again for City. Pushing it up for Donachie. Marsh. Good shot! A touch of the real Rodneys. Oh, what a goal that was.
And now Gillard. Marsh was calling for it, and a slip there allows Marsh to go in! A goal by Marsh! What a goal! Mike Kelly absolutely beaten. And Rodney Marsh puts Rangers ahead with 5 minutes gone. And And now Mike Ferguson with the corner, Clement right up there, as you'll see. Marsh getting ahead to it. Oh, Rodney Marsh! A second goal to Marsh. Summerhill harried and hustled all the way by Clement and hustled into an error, and Ferguson is right there in the middle of it. Will it come through to Marsh? Oh, look at that for skill by Marsh! Oh, and what a goal! Rodney Marsh's hat-trick! Buchan still right up there in that West Ham penalty area. But O'Neill to George Best again. Getting past Robson. Still with Best. Letting one go, and a goal!
Sadler is up there at the near post. Good back header. Tommy Taylor's header. George Best. This incredible ability that George Best has to turn. Kirkpatrick has given the corner and it's been taken. George Best sold two dummies and now has made a chance for himself. His hat-trick!